Hello. How you guys doing? How you guys doing today? Ezekiel
and Sarah,
and we're here today for another episode of
Marriage Matters Live. Good
Absolutely.
evening. Really pray everyone's had a good week.
Yep, indeed.
You had a good weekend, you've rested, and you are prepped and ready for this new week.
Come on. Before this week, tonight's show.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, how's everyone doing? Thank you so much for those of you waiting along as we were getting ready. And I hope you're ready for a stonker today. So, today we're talking about dating. So I think, it's
been long awaited though.
I was going to say, we talk about this subject all the time. We talk about this.
Exactly.
Constantly talking about this idea of dating. If you guys can hear us, if you can see us, just let us know in the comments that it's crispy. Let us know that you can hear us and see us and that the visuals are good.
Yes.
So this has been a long time coming, as you said.
Yeah.
We have been dancing around this conversation of dating for like ever.
Quite a while.
Yeah.
Quite a while.
So, where to start?
Yeah, I mean, for me, first things first.
The disclaimer.
Yes. Well, no, not really the disclaimer. I was actually just going to put it out to our viewers that, this particular topic isn't to put anyone down, anyone that is, in that position right now. It's not to say that you're wrong, you're right, or whatever. It's obviously
This is our view on it.
On this particular subject.
Absolutely.
I just want to say that.
Yeah, the disclaimer. I said it.
Okay, so it's a disclaimer.
So I think that's a powerful point to start with. Look, the reality is, a lot of what we share on this show right here is our experience.
Yeah, exactly.
We talk about things from, you hear me say this all the time, worldview. We talk about things from our worldview, from our perspective. That's what we're talking about.
Exactly. And we share from our heart as well.
That's right.
It's not just, thoughtless conversations. We really do put our heart into it. And, we just want to keep it real at the same time.
Is what it is.
Exactly.
So it's funny. So while we were preparing for this, Sarah was saying to me, but we dated though, didn't we?
Exactly.
So obviously that gives an allusion to our perspective. And I think I would have shared it a number of times on a number of different streams. It's basically my view on it. And I think really what we should really do is let's start by talking about the benefits and the disadvantages of dating. I think that's key. It's clear if you're here or if you've watched any of our content before, it's obvious that you know that we lay a massive emphasis on where your ideas are coming from, where your perspectives are coming from, how your belief system is built up. So to you guys out there, I think it's important for us to really kind of consider that in dating now. So let's talk about the benefits and the disadvantages. So those of you who are on now, those of you who are tapping in later, I'll put the question out there again to you guys. But the real key is, where does your idea of dating come from, and what are the real benefits of dating? So I mentioned this to you the other day. Now I was talking about vision and purpose. Basically, what is the purpose of dating? If I say to you, okay, cool, I like your look, says, you know what I mean, I think something could be going on here. You know what I mean? So let's date. You're my girl. All right. So if I met, maybe.
And it's just so cute when he says that, because I just remember him when he was a really young lad and all that kind of stuff. So keep it coming, babe.
Okay.
Keep chaps me in it. Your chaps me in it. Keep drawing me in it.
You need to chill with all that. But yeah, so obviously, if that's me and I'm kind of propositioning you in that manner.
Yeah.
So I've determined that yes, things are gonna work. I feel like you're the one I want to date, or like we're gonna get there anyway.
Yes.
So what is the end goal? What is the purpose of dating? And let me just throw that out real quick.
Yes, exactly.
So I want you guys to tell me, what do you guys think the purpose of dating is? To you guys, what is the purpose of dating? When when you're getting in a relationship, when you see your friends in relationships, when you think about dating, what does it look like to you? How do you see it? And one of the
That's a really good question.
Yeah, listen. One of the major issues I've got with this is that there are so many different people that have so many different views, so many different perspectives of dating.
It's true.
And this is the number one challenge, because we're starting a journey. And our views, our perspectives are different.
Exactly.
So I can guarantee you, we survey a small sample group of 100 people, 50, 100 people. That's all right. Thank you. I'm certain that a number of those responses are going to be different.
Yeah,
we're going to get a plethora of different responses.
Definitely.
From happiness to, I like him, I like her. Do you know what I mean? It's like whatever it may be.
Even culturally, dating's different culturally, isn't it? It's not like different cultures see dating from a completely different perspective as opposed to the way other people from other cultures see dating as well. So
absolutely, and I think this is one of the challenges. So when we think culture, we generally think like community group, nationality. Yeah. But what we need to understand is that we've got subcultures. Yeah. So you've got loads of different people, like especially today. We were talking to Grace earlier on. Yeah. And that's our daughter. And obviously, when you're talking to people of different age groups, even within those groups, there are cultures. And I'm not talking about because they come from a particular place. These are the kind of subcultures that they form themselves. And all of those things present different ideas, different definitions of what dating really is, what life is, but in this specific instance, what dating is. Yeah. So what is the purpose of dating? Why are people dating? This is what I want to know. Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, definitely.
Let's take it from our perspective, all right? Yeah. So it was a good while ago. Yeah. So when we initially got together, if you can place that, what was your mentality towards dating me? What was your mentality?
And you know what? And that's, as you was talking, the first thing I was thinking was I didn't have one. I didn't have any attachment to what was going on at the time. Do you know what I mean? It's like I didn't, when we started going out, would say, right? When we started going out, it literally was just that. Yeah. There wasn't of, oh, this is gonna be long term. Oh, this is gonna end soon. Oh, this is for 3 months. Oh, no, this is only for 2 weeks because I've got someone on the back bench and he's upset me. So this is a filler. Do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't any of that. That wasn't the case.
If you say so. Listen. That's a live stream. That's a whole different live stream for a whole nother day. But we won't go into that now.
Anyway, so it wasn't. And I think that's the thing. I don't feel like a lot of people actually date intentionally. Yeah. Right?
Come on now.
It's just, this is what's happening in my life right now. I'm just going with this flow, or let's just say two people are talking, before they take it to the next level, they might be thinking things, but nothing's actually said. And nothing can actually really be said until someone actually says it. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a lot of unintentional actions that are being taken, but I think it's also from the perspective of, I'm not going to say anything because I don't know where this is going anyway. Yeah,
now listen, so you're talking about lottery now. You're talking about you're talking about living.
That's what it is.
You're talking about living a lottery lifestyle.
That's what I think it is.
And that's a challenge for me. That's a major challenge for me.
That's what I think it is. And funny enough, you called it. You said lottery. Yeah. But technically, that's what we're gambling.
And this is the problem. And I don't even want to go into it. I don't want to listen. You guys know I like to go straight in. I don't even want to take it like that from now. Yeah. But your view was whatever will be, will be. Yeah. My view was a little different. I was like, look, and I remember I told you, we spoke about this. I think I wrote you a letter, innit? Ah, yes. Yeah? And it was just like, look, girl, well, how old is we?
This is where it gets a little bit,
Just to give them some context. 14.
Yeah, 14 plus.
All right, 14. She's 14 plus, yeah. Listen, this show is for adults.
It's for adults.
Well, so please, your children should be watching this right now. I don't want to be sowing any seeds into the 14-year-olds.
Exactly.
So listen, 14, and I was like, I've had some dramas already.
Imagine. Can someone help me?
And I don't want no dramas here going forward. So if this ain't a serious thing, whatever that meant at the time, all right, I don't want no part in it.
Right.
And I think I kind of put that out there very early. So, and this was, we were already kind of talking on the phone, kind of engaging, all that kind of stuff. But quite early on, I made that clear to you. So think about that. So obviously, relationships prior to myself and yourself, I could say, I was just going with the flow.
Yeah, it was a joke, Do
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I got to a point where it was like, hold on. Like, this isn't the picture you see. You want a different picture.
Yeah.
And my concern is that today, a lot of us are getting into relationships with this lottery mindset.
Definitely.
Do you understand?
100%.
There is no kind of... And listen, I know my sister's about to be jumping out in the comments and be like, no, I want to get into it for marriage. If we are not talking marriage, the first... Listen, I'm being kind of liberal now. If we're not talking marriage the first 3 months, if 3 months have gone past and there's been no discussion of marriage, there's a problem.
Yeah, but at the same time, how realistic is that?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? How realistic is it for two strangers, who are in a particular space in their life right now to get together after 3 months and now start talking about marriage? I still think that aspect comes from people who are mature enough. You understand? Or shall I say, don't take me for this, but maybe slightly older, or even sometimes young people who really know what they want.
And this is my point. You're supporting me. I'm not saying after 3 months you should be saying, will you marry me? I'm not saying that. I'm saying the word marriage should be part and parcel of your conversational engagement.
Okay.
You're right. We should be talking about, what are your ideas about marriage? I mentioned some of this stuff before.
Yeah.
What do you think about marriage? What age do you expect to get married? Like, really hard questions. I've told you, you should be having these on your first and second date, real talk. But the truth of the matter is, you're having these kind of conversations. You're talking about marriage within the first 3 months. I said I'm being liberal. Because real talk, the conservative person says, on date number 1.
Yeah.
So, have you ever thought about marriage? And it's like, that can be off-putting.
Of course.
It can be off-putting, but it's like, you want to know, okay, maybe not date 1, all right, maybe date 2 or 3, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like, your first,
5,
or on
6,
on your phone conversation. I'm not saying, will you marry me? I'm not saying that. I just want to know where you sit. People are like, that's weird. What's weird is living in a... Oh, listen, I'm about to go somewhere now, boy. I'm about to go somewhere. Listen. What's weird, is living a lottery lifestyle.
Yeah, but...
Not having no consistency. Wait. Let me come at you. So, you were like, people should be older or more mature.
Yeah.
Guys, this is Marriage Matters with Zeke and Sarah. You guys know what time it is, all right? So, we're having this conversation. You guys are here. Help us foster it.
It's a safe zone, okay?
This is the safe zone.
the safe zone.
And we going in. Look, so my point is this.
Yeah.
You're saying people should be mature or they should be somewhat older.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean. Some people are not ready for the purpose of man and woman coming together. I'm not talking about intimacy. I'm not talking about intercourse. I'm not talking about that. I ain't talking about the physical stuff. I'm talking about two people, a man and a woman, coming together.
Yeah.
This show is called Marriage Matters, right?
Yes.
So they're coming together to talk about marriage, to kind of engage in what should be a healthy marriage. You got no business dating each other if that's not your goal. So if you're saying to me they should be older or they should be young but have a mature mindset, that's my point. Those people you're talking about are ready for the engagement. They are ready. If you're young and you have that kind of mindset, then you're ready to be talking to... that sister's ready to be talking to a brother. That brother's ready to be talking to a sister. But if you're just like, I just want to play. I just want some fun. I see those... I've been watching TV and that looks cool.
Yeah.
I want me some of that. Now, that's a problem.
Okay.
For them people and for society.
Okay, so now for me, how do you sort of get to know someone without having to date them and it be a thing of where it could still lead to a bigger relationship, like you take it to the next level?
We know friends,
right?
We know friends, that were friends before they were married.
Yes.
All right. We know people that were introduced to someone through group dating, group dates, or what do you call it, like group events, friendship events, and they had got married happily, good relationships,
Yeah.
successful. These are my points. So it's possible. It may not be the norm.
And
it may not be what you see on TV. Unless you're watching Marriage Matters. But the reality is, this is real.
It is.
And it works.
It is.
But because it's not promoted, because it's not
That's right.
sexy, people don't want it.
That's another
people
thing.
People want it because it means, if you're, that means I've got to be serious. That means I've got to think. That means I've got to focus. That means I've got to get myself in check. Whereas if I want to play, well, you know, it don't really matter who I am or what I like or what I do, because, you know, I can dip in, dip out. I can, do you know what I mean? What do they say? Try before I buy. I can, do you know what I mean? I don't have to pay to play. And I think that's a problem. That is real problematic. And for me, the issue is the effect this has on the wider society.
Yeah.
The effect this has on community groups. This is the problem. Because we devalue ourselves. Yeah. We devalue our brothers and our sisters. We devalue the value. We devalue the substance of relationship, love. Do you know? And these are my concerns, man. These are my concerns.
100%. I hear you.
So this is why, you won't ever catch me advocating dating. Like if people are in it, that's cool. And if people would come to me and they were talking about dating, we'd work through that.
Yeah.
I'd work with them through that, depending on where they are.
Yeah.
But for me, the reality is, I told Grace, I told my daughter straight.
Oh, he did.
Listen, dating, that's off the cards. And it's like, if that's what she wants to do, if that's the avenue she wants to take, it's on her. But my advice, my counsel is, have friends, have a pool of friends, get to know people, and pray and permit the Lord to lead you. Yeah? And the Lord should be leading your man to be doing what's right. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's me. I'm talking.
For me, I kind of feel like, I come more from a different angle on why I don't really advocate dating. And the main reason for me is the fact that the baggage it comes with, the heartbreak it comes with, the disappointments, the unrest, the ups and downs, the mood swings, the emotional dramas, the try before you buy mentality,
experience,
the attachment that people grow to have to the attachment that people end up having with someone that they don't end up being with.
Yeah.
You know, and then again, there's intercourse involved, there's sex, there's all of these things that then cause different issues later on down the line for these particular individuals. You know, so for me, I really feel like that for me, that's where the chunk of it is for me. The fact that, you know, when two people start to see each other, they don't know each other, they don't know each other's characters, they don't know how. A man doesn't know how quickly a woman can attach. And a woman doesn't know how quickly a man can attach. Whereas they're not really trying to attach. But then this other person is now attaching themselves to them. And then it's gonna end up with, you know, it's not always going to end up very well, because one person is not in it for the long run. And then you've got another person who's like, you know what, I'm willing to take this as far as it goes, if it goes into marriage. But then because these things are not really spoken about, like you said, and I completely agree with you. If someone has been seeing somebody for 3 months and the topic of marriage has not even come up, and it's not, like you said, it's not to say, will you marry me? It's just, what's your view on it?
I need to know who you are.
Exactly.
I need to know
what's your view on it? Where do you see yourself? Or even the question of, have you ever been? Because we're not talking just about people who have never been married here.
For sure.
You know, people start dating and not knowing that this person's the next divorcee. You know, why? What happened there?
Come on.
You know, so there are all these things for me that I feel like dating isn't really, I mean, and the thing is, society has made it as if has made it the norm. They've made it the norm that you know, you get into a relationship with someone, and automatically that relationship needs to have all these criteria. There needs to be sex, there needs to be going out, there needs to be this, there needs to be that, and they label relationships with all of these different benefits. Oh, you need to buy gifts, there needs to be Valentine's Day, there needs to be birthdays, and all these kind of attachments that realistically, you know, why would you pour that much into somebody when it can just end up being nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and it's the same thing. Do you go to university for it to be nothing? No, you go to university with the intention.
That's right.
Of getting a degree.
Yeah.
And then if you don't get a degree, and you know, or if you get a degree but it's not the grade that you wanted, that was still down to you, how much work you put in, how much work you didn't put in. And you know, for me, relationships are very much the same. So it's dating is detrimental. It can destroy people, and I think for me that's where my standoff comes in, because it's just, I think to myself, if men and women were at the place where, okay, they're ready to get into a relationship, how many relationships do they want to get into before they're ready for marriage?
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
That's powerful.
And
That's
that's
really
the
powerful.
question that should be asked. And you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman who is, you know, who's gone on a date with a guy, I was talking to a guy and says, like, okay, how many relationships do you think you need to get to before you get to the point of marriage? If he turns around and says, I don't know, I never thought about maybe 2, 3, they know that there's a possibility that you might not be the number 3. You could be number 1.
I'll be asking him. The next question will be,
what number am I?
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? You know, it's and that's the thing. What number am I? And then he's like, oh, you're number 2. Then already just begin to know that there might be a number 3 for him. It could be even number 5, number 6, or it could be never.
Yeah.
You know, never, because again, talking about marriage, people really see marriage as a very mature thing, whereas realistically, marriage is not to say that marriage is not a mature thing, but that label that's been put on it, oh, you have to be mature, you have to be this, and you have to be that. So a lot of people who don't feel like they fit into that category don't want to talk about marriage, so they stay in the dating zones.
Yes.
Because they feel the minute they step into that, oh, they have to be at a certain level, they have to be at a certain place. When you asked me to marry you, you was not where you are now. Do you get what I'm saying? You were not where you are now. So it's not even a thing of where sometimes people, you know, again, it's the way the world delivers it. It's the way the world delivers it.
Yeah.
And I really feel like until you start to take yourself out of that space of what the world continues to deliver and force feeds you, you're never really going to see it from another perspective. It's always going to be, this is how it is. This is what the normal is. You know, people who, you know, start seeing each other and get married, they're seen as the different ones. Yeah. You know, that's
the people who have marriage as a goal.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, straight away they're like, oh, why are you talking about marriage for? Like, if you imagine it, you know, and again, you know, like sometimes our friends put us off. But hon, you've only been talking to him for like 3 months.
Come on now.
You can't be having that conversation.
Listen, friends. Let me start starting you about friends.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then our circle, his circle, her circle, those type of, you know, when people begin to talk and they're like, if he turns around and says to his friend, oh, like, there's this girl, you know what, I can really see myself wifing her, you know, like I can see myself with her for the rest of my life.
You're going somewhere.
And then his boy turns around and is like, bruh, you only known her 3 months. Don't be talking like that.
And what?
Do you get what I'm saying? So automatically, what happens? The friend has sowed a seed that retracts that thought for him, and then automatically he's kind of he can get to the. Then he starts thinking different things. You okay?
I'm with you. Keep going.
Then he starts thinking different things that then stops him.
This is live.
100%. That stops him from moving forward with that thought.
Yeah.
You get it? So it's sometimes, you know, it's not only till he's been seeing her for a year or so that the friends are like, oh, like, yeah, you know, you've been seeing her for about a year now, like, what's going on? But before that, it's like, we do not talk about this thing. It's way too early. You should be having those thoughts. Do you know what I'm saying? So that those boundaries, those blockers, those barriers is what people are facing every day when we're talking about dating and relationships. Look,
you've spoken so richly and so well, and my thing is that to date, like, as much as dating is a no-no, listen, dating is a no-no in my book. But if a person is going to get into a romantic relationship, there should be a purpose. There should be a vision. The purpose, one of the purposes, should be marriage. The vision should be marriage and beyond. If we don't have that, sister, you're wasting my time. Brother, you're wasting her time.
It's true.
It's not a joke.
It's true.
And these are the things that we really need to center in on. You must, like, relationships are for mature people. Like, I'm not even going to play you. I'm not going to game you. You know why? You spoke about so much rich stuff there. When you talk about the intimacy, when you talk about the emotional stability versus instability, why? Oh, you want me to start praying, boy? Look, listen.
Oh, Zeke.
A man and a woman.
Yeah.
Your job is to come together and become one. You see, when we hear one, we just think, look, they look cute together. We're talking about becoming powerful.
That's right.
We're talking about unity, union. I ain't trying to preach to you guys, but listen to this. In Genesis, look up the Tower of Babel. When God saw what they did, he was like, now they are of one mind. Nothing that they do
nothing
can be hindered.
Yeah.
And this is the power of unity. When a man and a woman come together. And listen, don't tell me you're dating for 20 years and you're in one mind.
Well,
like, listen.
That's true, actually. That's true, because I was going to be like, well, they can be, but however, it is one of those things where you're still playing lottery. You've been playing lottery for 20 years.
Listen, my people, if you're watching this stream, I don't know if you're watching this, I love you. And listen, Sarah said it at the beginning. She put it out there. Look, I ain't shooting for nobody. In my mind now, there is nobody.
Right.
I don't see a particular person.
Of course.
But what I'm saying is that this is very important.
Yeah.
Two people coming together, this is an opportunity for you to create something new. For me to become better than I am. For you to become better than you are. For us to become powerful together. If you aren't willing to go through the pain, go through the struggle, if you don't really desire to go up to the next level, forget it. All of the richness that I would have learned, I would have developed, I would have garnered over the years. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about spiritual intelligence, emotional intelligence, social, all of those things. All of the same things that you've developed. We come together. We may not. Children come. And then you get to invest that in them. You get to affect your community.
Yeah.
Like, look. Some people are just too small-minded. This is the problem. We are selfish. I was selfish, says. Do you know what? I said I'll bring you guys in. So, after we got together, my focus was kind of like, let's date, let's get together. And like I said, I want someone serious. But serious to me meant you would do all the things that I needed and I liked. And obviously, I'd be your man. I'd protect you. I'd take care of you. But you don't stress me. I don't want your drama. I don't want the issues. And Sarah was like, you know what? I love this woman, guys, because she was very cordial. But my thing was, we were 14. We were still together at 18. We're still together at 19. 20 hit us. And my thing, outside of God, outside of everything else, I said, I'm not getting married till I'm 35.
Imagine.
30, listen.
I should be waiting 40 years.
Listen. Marriage was not an option. You see, right now, I was about my business.
Yeah, you was.
I was on my grind, my hustle. Listen, I didn't have no time for no marriage talk. I don't have no time. I don't know children. Listen, don't talk to me about none of that stuff. Like, we could walk around, she on my shoulder, yeah, my girl. You know what I mean?
Imagine.
But that was it. The trophy girlfriend. That's what it was. And this is the problem. My mind was immature. My vision was small. I was selfish. And this is the problem. If a man,
really
or a woman
really
isn't willing to forsake selfishness.
Yes.
And look, I'm saying this to you, and if anyone out there...
That was going to be one of my points, actually.
For real.
Yeah.
If anyone out there is not in the household of faith, you don't believe God, some of these things can seem odd to you. Because much of this reality matured on me, dawned on me when I started to take my relationship with God more serious. When I took God more serious, I began to take you more serious.
Yeah.
As I began to understand more about God, I began to understand more about you, more about me, more about we. And this is important. This is why I say relationships are not for the immature.
I see, and I can see
it is not. Because, like, I remember one of my boys, my close boy, and he was just like, you know what? Like, he's always talking about me time. He's always talking about me time. And he was just like, you know what? When I get married, it's like, I'm going to make sure I get time for me. It's like, once you enter covenant, you see that me time? Me time becomes secondary. I don't know, people are arguing, no, you need to have your own time, this and that. Listen, you work that in your own relationship. But the primary thing is, you're getting into a covenant because you're saying you and me for life.
Exactly.
You and me for life.
Right. That's right.
I think Sez was joking with you guys before when I said to you, we were just dating, and I said to you that I want to take a break. Yeah. When you're dating, those things are legal.
Of course they are.
That's legal.
Of course they are.
It's only because she put her foot down. She was like, break? Which break? She wouldn't hear none of that.
I was not having that.
You know why? Because at that stage, her mind was fixed on this being a serious thing.
That's right.
And I don't remember what it was specifically, but I think the pressures of the serious thing that I asked for in the beginning
exactly
was getting to me. And obviously, because I'm just like, you know what, I need some space. I need to do my own thing for a little bit.
Me time.
I need some me time. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things. It's like, look, there is a place for me time in relationships.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that there's not. Excuse me. There is a place for me time in marriage.
Yeah.
But we need to understand, especially husband, wife, depending on where we are and how we are, that needs to be appropriated accordingly. It's not just, my marriage is all about me time. I need to make sure I get me time. Otherwise, I ain't in a good mood. No, we need to ensure our mood is right. Me time comes after that. These things are vital in terms of relationships. So I'm just reiterating, but dating, relationships, marriage, and these things are connected.
Yeah.
If a person says they're dating for no end goal, no end point, run, sister, run.
Run, brother, run.
Because that is a major issue.
Okay.
The person is short-sighted. They don't have vision. And listen, I hear so many people, I can convince him. They will change their mind. This and that. But you guys didn't start that way. Listen, all of that is true. And if you want to be that woman who I was trying to make Sarah and be like, you're going to wait 35 years. Oh, gosh. Then I'm going to marry you. And you know what? That's typical today.
It is.
Today.
It really is.
Today, that's typical stuff.
It really is.
It is
really
typical.
Is.
And I'm not trying to belittle those people who take that pathway.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is it's an expression, and we need to be honest with ourselves. I'm not talking about like getting angry or whatever because of the way we're talking about this. I'm just talking about take a quiet moment and really consider yourself. Why are we not married? Yeah. Why have I not married you? Why are we dating? Why are we dating for so long? What is the purpose of this? Because
but you know
we need to be mature. My point is we need to be mature. That's all.
I mean, one thing that I really feel that this that the whole dating aspect comes from is fear.
Yeah.
Okay. I really think it's fear because people are fearful that if they stay in a friendship with someone, if they're just in that friend space, getting to know somebody, anyone can come and slip in.
The friend zone.
Yeah. Anyone can come and slip in and take him or her place. So I feel like people, and let me know in the comments, because I feel like people feel like they need to get into that place of dating so that it's official, isn't it? Yeah. Dating sort of class is like, it's official, we're dating. I've heard that before.
You bought the lottery ticket, basically.
Exactly. Whereas when people stay in that friendship place, just getting to know someone, I feel like that the fear in the back of their mind is, but if we're just friends, he could speak to anybody like this. She could speak to anyone like this. Anyone can replace me right now. Not knowing that even if you are dating,
you can be replaced. That's right.
Someone else, he can still be talking to someone else. She can still be talking to someone else. But for some reason, there's some kind of security in that dating.
Yeah, you're right.
In that dating zone that people have adopted.
That's right.
They adopt a security in that. That's why when that security is broken, when that chain is broken, it comes with all the heartache and the pain because they didn't stay in that place of that friend space. You know, and this is the funniest thing because a lot of people think, well, if we're friends, we're not going to get married, are we? Because we're just friends. Friends don't get married. Friends don't take it further. Whereas, if this is something that people really begin to adopt
culturally,
it becomes normal. That's right. And when people start to say, oh, that's my friend, and then a year later, these two friends have gotten married, and like, oh, I thought you thought we're just friends. No, we were, and we still are. Thank God. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is the thing, because people think, oh, I married my best friend, and you know, well, if he or she was your best friend, why was it a thing that it had to be in the form of dating? You know, and you know, I really feel for me it's definitely a fear aspect, because even though dating is still uncertain, people feel as if it isn't. There's this fake facade that once you're in this relationship with someone, it's locked in.
You're right. That's powerful stuff, man. I think that security blanket you said rightly so. It comes from a social acceptance, this cultural acceptance of dating, and it's just like it's official, it's official. But again, you spoke so well. That drink's getting me. You spoke so well, and the truth of the matter is, it's only as good, or it's only as good as it is until we say that it's not.
True.
And that differs totally from genuine covenantal marriage covenant. It's not about it's working out, it's not working out. When you enter into a covenant with someone, that's totally different. And you need to be thinking covenant when you're engaging in these relationships, because we've cultivated such a throwaway society. Oh, this mobile phone is dated now. Oh, my laptop's dated now. Oh yeah, the season's done. When's the next season coming out? We've cultivated such an adoption for this. You know, everything has an expiry date and it expires real quick.
Yeah.
And it's just like relationships. It's the same thing. So it's like, oh yeah, this person, oh, I thought you were dating him. Yeah, that's long. That's over now. Yeah, this is the next person. These are the issues that are underlying this idea of dating. If we are not having hard conversations, if we are not really focused on our own vision, if we don't really see the purpose, and we're not seeking purpose in dating and relationship, it's a problem. It's a problem. I know this episode today is not really for the married folk, so to speak, but then again, if you're married and you've got children, these are some things that, especially grown children, these are some of the things that you need to get prepared to start talking to your children about. Some of the things that you may be mindful, because they might be coming to ask you some questions about these things. Sometimes we're real detached from what's going on in our children's lives as well. Some people, and I think they don't understand that even young children are dealing with a lot of this today. I mean really young children.
Exactly.
So, dating, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Like, I think we really need to dig deep. We really need to dig deep. And it's like, some people are real good when it comes to nutrition. Some people are real good when it comes to exercise. Some people are real good when it comes to studies and reading. Some people are real good when it comes to business. We need to get real good when it comes to relationships. This needs to be something that we are focused on improving. If you haven't read a book on relationships, if you haven't gone through some of the Bible verses from my believing people out there on relationships, what business have you got in a relationship? No, listen. What business have you got in a relationship? We're talking about taking care of the emotions of another person. We're talking about... Let me just be quiet.
Yeah, because obviously a lot of people feel like dating is a part of life. It's part of the experience. It's part of the journey. It's part of growing up. It's part of blah blah. It's part of this. Listen, I have a friend, and she told me not so long ago that her friend lost her son, right? And he committed suicide because the girlfriend broke up with him.
Forget that. Are you serious?
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? You're probably listening to this and you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, why would someone do that? That's like crazy. You know, and it is crazy. And it wasn't a female who committed suicide. It was a male that committed suicide. And these are one of the things, and these, for me, this is why I have really stepped away from the dating perspective of being on the fence of, oh, well, dating's like, you know, we dated. And look,
just for the show, I didn't even hear about this before.
And do you know what I mean? You know, you know, we dated, and look how we turned out, you know? So, well, why would we be? But when you think about it, right, especially, you know, like, when I feel like a lot of relationships are ordained. Yeah. And a lot are not. Okay. Now, this young man, now let's just think about this. And you know what? This is happening to young people every day.
That was the devil. Every
day. Okay. And this is the thing. Society makes it out as if dating is it. Yeah. It's not the marriage, by the way. Marriage is not the end of the line. Okay. Dating is the end of the line. Yeah. Right? Society makes people, especially young people today, with the social media and the programs and the movies and stuff that they're watching and the way things are coming up. You know, you've got programs now where people are co-parenting or triple parenting, or I don't know, the double dating and all this kind of stuff is going on. So for them, they are removing the marriage aspect of things out of a lot of places.
Let me just add to that.
Right, go on.
We know this. You used to look at a lot of those magazines back in the day. What are they constantly showing you on the front of those magazines? Who's dating who?
Yes.
They promote this thing like it's the best thing in the world.
Exactly. And then when you see, and then in the magazines, it's like, oh, they're getting married? Like, what? Yeah. Kind of thing, you know, oh, he's no longer a bachelor. She's no longer a bachelor. Like, oh my gosh, like, really, what's going on? I mean, even look at Harry. Everyone was waiting for, probably thought he'd just stay single forever because the media love the fact that he dated this person, dated that person, dated this person. And then, but when marriage comes in, it's like, oh my gosh, he's getting married kind of thing. It's like, that's a surprise. Yeah. You know, they make it like marriage is a shocking aspect of things, whereas dating is the best thing.
It's the fun and game.
It's the fun and games.
It's the fun and games,
you know. So obviously when young people are seeing this and they're going through this, and this is what the 21st century is pushing and pulling at them, they get into relationships and they think that is the marriage. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? It's like this is it. This girl is it. This guy is it. He or she have made the decision to stay with this person, and this person wants to break their heart. Cutting wrists, jumping off buildings, you know, taking drugs, alcohol abuse, you know, being abusive to family members. Young people are really going through it. Yeah. Why? Because we are not teaching them. They are not being taught the right way.
That's right.
And even if somebody wants to, if people want to start to teach them the right way, the people are looked at as, oh, that is old fashioned. That isn't what's going on today. Everybody has to, you know, you're and then
what do you know? What do you know?
What do you know? Do you know what I mean? And it becomes a thing of where, you know, it's like, why are you trying to change things? Why are you trying to change society? Why are you trying to change the young people? Yeah. You know, whereas if we are teaching them things if we're educating people to do things the right way, especially parents, like my husband said, talking to your teenage children about relationships. The minute you know your daughter or your son is in a space where they are mingling constantly with other young people, secondary school probably, perhaps.
Come on, big time.
This is where these conversations need to begin. Yeah. But then again, it's people's worldviews. Yeah. If parents do not see anything wrong with dating,
come on now,
then the children, you know, that's just
Mum
it,
dates.
Isn't it?
Mummy's been dating.
Exactly.
Daddy's dating.
Exactly. So for me, you know, it's one of those things where when you constantly hear people who was dating somebody and then the person broke up with them and they just had the most traumatic time, and then, you know, and then for me, it's the fact that it damages them for the one. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That when it's time to actually, when they get to the space where the right person comes along, this person has so much work to do. Yeah. And they love them that much that they're willing to put this work in.
Come on now.
But now they have so much more work to do.
Yeah, I think we need to have a whole separate stream. I think it's on the register for soul ties because because the effects and the impact are massive, and I think people don't actually understand that. We spoke about the toxicity, that toxic relationship before, and the things that carry over from relationship to relationship. We spoke about a major aspect of what we spoke about on that stream. If you didn't see it, it's on the channel. we talk about dysfunction, yeah. And so those toxic relationships, we was really speaking about it from the perspective of parents, kind of parenting, being attracted to that dysfunction, yeah. But you've got to remember that in this dating, there's this cascading effect where they take it from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship, and they're constantly carrying over this negative energy. You call it a spirit if you want. It's just like it follows them, it goes with them until they find the person you're talking about who's willing to work through those things. And that person suffers. They suffer a great deal. Yeah. And we need to ask ourselves, do you really want to put the person you say you love through all of this drama? Do you really want to put them through? Because the more you date, the more you engage in relationship after relationship. Yeah, but this is, how am I supposed, like you said before, how am I supposed to find the right person? This is the only way I know to do it. Doing it again and again and again, carrying over that negative experience and belaboring the person you say you love, all of that is that's awful.
Someone watching this can be like, yeah, but Zeke, who said it was negative? Do you know what I'm saying? Who said it was a negative experience?
Okay, cool.
But then if it wasn't a negative experience, why did you break up? Or if it was that positive, why didn't it go further?
So you're saying forgive me for cutting you.
No, it's fine.
So you're talking about two people who kind of we're either talking about friends with benefits is a phrase I've heard, or we're talking about two people who separated on a cordial
and they've just moved on, because obviously it's not, not everybody breaks up on terrible terms. It could just be like, sorry mate, this ain't working out.
Okay, so then what was the point? This is what I mean. What is the point? Because how many times is it going to be, sorry mate, it's not working out? How many times is it not going to work out? I don't understand. And if that's just the purpose, and I've heard this before, and maybe it's on films, or maybe that's where I've heard it, or they just want some fun. I just want some fun. Let's just have some fun. It's like, okay, there's times for fun, but there's times for serious business.
But you have to remember as well, when we're talking about dating, everybody, all different types of people get into relationships. Yeah. People who are young, people who have never seen anybody before, people who have had countless of relationships, people who were married before and they're not married anymore.
Yeah.
Now, people who were married before and are not married anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of them have a particular experience, and then hence why they get divorced, right? Then this person wants to now start seeing somebody, but he's just like, I was married once before, I'm not going down that married road again.
Yes.
Right? But he wants someone by his side. He wants someone to keep him warm at night. He wants the whole thing that he had with the wife, but just not with the label of marriage. Yeah. Now, how obviously this could be male or female.
Yeah.
The person who wasn't married before but finds this person super attractive and thinks, oh, this is a nice guy. He's mature and everything, and he looks like this could work. He seems like he gets this whole relationship thing. I mean, he's been married before. How does someone like that avoid getting into a relationship with that person? Because this person comes across like, yeah, I've got you, but then there's no intention of marriage because he's been down that road before.
Like I said, hard questions early. But if she or he is so busy enjoying the ride that they don't have the volition to say, wait, this is real good stuff. So are we going somewhere, or is we joyriding? Basically, it's what you call the little kids that take the cars and ride. Yeah, are we just joyriding? What's going on? And you have to ask the questions.
Right.
If you don't ask the questions, you are stuck going with the flow wherever the wind blows. Right. That's what happens. This is the reality. Right. It's got to be that real. And listen, I know I feel like I was talking to my sisters all the time. Yeah. I know some of my sisters are like, I don't want to put that pressure on him. I don't want to ask him. I didn't tell you to ask him to marry you. What I'm telling you is to ask the questions,
have the conversation
that you need to have answers to.
Right.
Do you intend to be married one day?
And if it's
soon,
okay,
or later.
All right, but if he turns around and says no at the time where she asks this question, or at the time where, because he could ask this question also. Yeah. At the time where the person, shall I say, keep it generic, at the time when the person turns around and asks this question, like, you know, like, this is running quite nicely, and they start having the conversation, like, where do you see yourself get married? And they turn around and say, no, like, that's not really what they're about, you know. They're not really about that right now. Because and that's another thing. That right now keeps people locked up.
Okay.
Because in the back of their mind, they said, the other person will say, well, they did say not right now.
You know what that is? So it's hope.
Exactly, right? But then not right now means when?
Yeah.
There's been no time scale given, you know. So not right now is a terminology that is used to keep a lot of people in relationships that they don't need to be in.
You mean in bondage, yeah?
In bondage, you said.
Listen.
No, wait.
Go on.
So what do you then say? Obviously, so not because obviously, sorry, you've already answered the question. So it's about asking questions.
That's right.
Constantly.
Listen. Relationship, it's like prayer. A lot of people think prayer is a monologue,
right?
So they think it's like, God, give me this, God, can you give me that, God, I was thinking about this, you know, or this is so bad, she's so bad, he's so bad. Like, they think it's a monologue, when in actuality, if you look at the way the Bible presents it, prayer is a dialogue. You should say something, he should speak back. You should say something, he should speak back. It's a two-way road. And like I said to you, some of you are just joining right now. Like I said to you earlier on, or I said to you guys earlier, our relationship, I didn't want to get married until I was 35.
Okay, let me just stop you there. What made you at 18, 19,
I don't
say 35?
know. Listen, I was busy doing stuff.
What was you doing?
I was doing some stuff. And my mind was on the stuff I was doing.
Yeah, but
I was happy to have you on my arm. But I didn't want to hear nothing about marriage. I didn't want to hear nothing about children. That was not my focus. It could be something to do with the way I was trained, the experiences I had as a boy. I don't know. But all I knew is that was not for right now.
Okay. So imagine, okay, so that wasn't for right now at the time. And imagine if I was just like, well, okay, since that's not for right now, see you later.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Okay. Oh, you asking if I would have chased you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
About my business. I will find someone who's ready to wait till 35.
Oh, God, can you imagine?
But listen, this is the point that you need to understand. God saved us.
Hallelujah.
Both. We were both saved.
From saved. Bondage. Yes, that's right.
And my point is that if you look at that scenario, that's the situation many people are in. Some ladies may say, oh, you know what, I'm going. And they leave. He waits for someone else to come. So she comes over. He says 35. She says, okay, cool. It's not. They get to 34 and he's like, you know what? I've been thinking 35 wasn't far enough. I'm really thinking 42. Those odd numbers.
And then, but even by that time, they've got children. They've probably bought a house together.
Who knows what's happened?
And she's just really not ready to go anywhere because, you know, he used the word "not right now." So there's the hope that "not right now" will end, and then it will be right now.
And we need to establish: is that hope false hope, or is it real hope?
Well, I mean, what do you guys think? So when people in a relationship and the person says, not right now, I don't want to do that right now, are they giving them a true sense of hope or are they giving them false hope?
My question would be, when? That's what
they just said, I don't know.
No, listen. They didn't.
You can't force someone to tell you when.
Okay, so when you made up your mind, maybe you send me a text. Yeah, I'm gonna go now. Yeah, and it's like, and I know I can make it like it's a jovial thing, but these are serious issues.
It is.
And
it really is.
I've said this on a good few streams. If we don't ask hard questions, we gonna feel some hard experiences, some hard feelings. This is just the reality. Ask the questions that make you feel uncomfortable so you don't have to feel uncomfortable. This is real. You do it early. So, listen, dating is not advocated by me. If you are immature, and people jump to the defense, I'm not immature. I'm ready. After you've asked hard questions on date 1 to 3, come back to me and tell me that you're not immature. I will salute you. Because we were talking earlier on, weren't we? In our mind, I might say, I'm a mature man. I might say, I'm experienced in X, Y, and Z. All of those thoughts are great. but they are not true until you have measured them in the real world. If you're not testing yourself week to week, someone was saying, look, I'm not addicted to chocolate. So my thing is, look, you can say that while you be chewing on that Snickers bar or Mars bar, whatever your preference is. But the reality is, if month to month, you don't say, I'm going to take a week off my chocolate munching habit and I'm going to review myself. After you've abstained from chocolate for a week, you can say, I've been able to abstain from chocolate for a week. You go to next month and you say next month says, okay, I'm going to try 2 or 3 months later. I'm going to try 2 weeks or 3 weeks now. And as you can do it consistently, you can confess consistently that your experiences are true. But walking around saying, look, I'm a mature person. You know what? I've got emotional intelligence, and you don't demonstrate that. It can't be seen. It can't be validated in life, in relationships. There's a problem. This is what happens. 2 people get together, they're dating, and one person says, you know what? The last relationship didn't work. It was bad.
Yeah.
Who was it? What was the problem? It was my partner. They were just like, X, Y. My next question is, would you mind, and this is the oddest thing in the world, she knows where I'm going, would you mind if I had a conversation with we left on good terms, but I don't even talk to them no more. I want to have a chat with them.
No, you know what? Listen, that is so far-fetched from someone's mind. Like, guys, if you're watching this and you're married, you're single, whatever it may be, can you please just let me know in the comments if that is something you would ever do? Because you know what? These are the things that people do not actually think of.
The person doesn't need to agree. But when you make a statement like that, the person will start sitting up, right? You say you want to do what? you want to talk to who? Listen, those kind of... they say, listen, I just really like to know... what kind of, what you know what I mean? What their view of you really is.
Yeah.
This Bible says it. Like, when you hear half a story, it's one. When you got the full story, you see it from both sides. And this is the reality. Once you begin to talk to someone else now, or someone says, my mum, she's always moaning. Or, can I mind if I have a little chat with your mum? Yeah, the boy doesn't clean his room. After he eats, he leaves the plates there. He doesn't do this. He's terrorizing this person. My friend, you're laughing. You're laughing.
You know why I'm laughing? Because a mother will give a true insight to her son.
Siblings,
you know, she'll give a true insight.
Maybe the mum is biased. Well, okay, maybe she wants to show him Pepe. Okay, so you speak to a friend, you speak to a sister.
So when basically, do some investigating.
My friend, when you've spoken, you know what time it is, really.
And then you can decide early whether this is a type of person you want to date or not. Because you know what? You know, like we're talking about that list. Yeah, remember we were talking about the list.
My sisters, you got that right.
You can tick these things off the list early. If this person really isn't obviously we were saying that the list doesn't have to always be perfect. But if the person is not ticking a lot of the things on that list, then obviously you don't have to waste 6-7 months, 1 year in a relationship with this person to then just end up being like, this, you know, he's just not. Well, from what you're saying, people can do their research. Why does it seem a bit far-fetched to do research on a person that you're dating or do some relationship research?
Now, let me even go deeper.
Like, that seems like people might be like, that's a bit, what's that word? What's the word? Stalking.
Yeah.
Like, people might think, no, that's stalking. Yeah. No, it's not stalking. This person is saying he or she wants to date you. There's nothing wrong with saying, okay, well, you've had previous relationships. Why have none of them worked out for you?
Much of these responses, and listen, you're talking about dating. I'm still talking about friends.
Yeah, I know.
Watch this. And you can get responses, you can get your understanding, you can be reviewing your stuff while you two are friends.
That's
Why?
Right.
Because you're like, there may be instances where you're interacting with someone's mum. There's a barbecue, you're at the house, all the friends are there. So, mum, yeah. You ask a question or two. He always says this and that. Like, you might get someone in trouble, but you're getting insight.
So true.
Your friends. You're just doing a traditional survey. Some people might say you're weird, it's stalking, cool. But the reality is, if you want to get some understanding, this is what happens. So if you go way back, and even today it happens.
Yeah.
In African culture, the parents do all of this.
Yeah.
So the person themselves doesn't. The person will say, okay, there's this guy, there's this girl.
And just for some of you that didn't know that actually does happen.
Yeah, man. The parents go out and they go out and don't worry, we'll send our people. they'll go to their village or they'll go to their town or whatever. They'll go and find, and then they survey.
Yeah.
And my point is, where you don't have, where we can't afford that today. It's like we don't have the liberty for our family or our friends to go out or send a PI, send a private investigator and do that kind of stuff. What happens is we can be friendly. We can ask questions. We can get an understanding. These things help us paint a bigger picture. So for me, friendship is a major factor. You can be friends with someone for a year or two and you will know for sure that person is not the kind. Listen, that boy be lazy, that girl be face conscious, like whatever it is, and you can really evaluate or feisty. you can really evaluate what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and all of this stuff can happen before you say we dating.
That's right.
No, I'm gonna land on this. I'm gonna let you talk. I've mentioned it, maybe not here on this stream, but before. I was working with a friend of mine, young prophet Jeremiah. We were working in a place some years back, and we met this wonderful lady, SB Sholobumi, and Sholobumi said something on this faithful day. I won't forget it, and she said, the reason so many people, I'm paraphrasing, the reason so many people enjoy dating is because they're able to have their cake and eat it. You have all of the trappings of marriage without the commitment.
Yeah.
This is the issue.
Yeah.
And if someone isn't willing to be committed, I don't believe that they should have the benefits.
100%.
And you might say to me, look, that's old fashioned. That doesn't work today. That doesn't make any sense. My point is, if you're willing to go through the emotional turmoil and drama when it doesn't work,
fine,
I take my hands up.
Yeah.
But I'll be advising my children that they should do all the stuff I'll be telling you guys today.
100%.
Because it's safer for them emotionally.
Yeah.
It's safer for them spiritually.
Yeah.
It's safer for them mentally.
Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah.
It like.
But then again, you know, a lot. I do feel like, you know, a lot of this needs conversation.
For sure.
We need to be speaking about these things in different settings.
Okay.
We need to be speaking about them in, whether it be in colleges and universities and secondary schools, in churches, in other religious organisations and things like that. Because before people get to that place of marriage, there are all these other steps that they need to take.
Yeah.
But then things are being bypassed and completely leaped over, and then we're ending up with a society that is just not being, you know, they're not being educated, and because they're not being educated, and the funniest thing is people might be like, oh, but I am educated. You know, people might be, I am educated, but it depends on where has that education come from.
That's right.
Where has your knowledge derived from? And this is the thing, you know, it's so funny because, you know, for me, one of the biggest things about dating is the fact that it is not guaranteed. People can say, oh yeah, but marriage ends up in divorce, but it was a marriage.
Yeah.
Regardless, okay, it was a marriage.
Yep.
And they had that union, they made that move, they pushed forward, they got to that place of marriage, and then, you know, some people, it just doesn't work out. However, you know, but the funniest thing is there are people, and I have heard of stories of people that have been divorced and have gotten back together.
Yeah.
You understand? They still come back to that union. Why? Because they I guess from some of the stories that I've heard is they had their issues. People weren't really there to support them. They didn't know how to handle these things, and so they split up. But then 4 years later, one story I heard was 4 years. One story I heard was even 10 years later. 10 whole years.
Yeah.
Just the husband and wife that divorced came back together,
I've heard
and they remarried.
That's right.
You understand? Again, it's that maturity. You know, time has passed, but then for me, it's just that, you know, why would I want my friend to go through a process that she's going to end up completely heartbroken?
Come on now.
Completely destroyed.
Come on.
Her mentality towards men are going to completely shift.
Come on.
You know, she could even turn into a different person just because of a relationship that has broken her heart. You know, and we've seen it. So many people, we've seen this before. you know, where this, you know, people are absolutely one way, and then a relationship completely turns them into a completely different person.
I gotcha.
You understand? So these are some of the reasons why, understanding that we're not saying, you know, that dating is some, you know, ridiculous thing, but it's safeguarding.
Yeah.
You want to safeguard your heart for your husband, for your wife.
Absolutely.
So in order to safeguard yourself, and like I said earlier on, why would you want to enter into a relationship? Okay, just imagine this. You fall in love. You don't fall in love. You engage with somebody, and you know, things are going great. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, this person says, "Will you marry me?" You say yes, but you have all of these extra things to deal with: the emotional imbalance, the ex-girlfriend, the ex-boyfriend, the children that might have ended up being as part of that previous relationship. So many different things, you know. But then it's just the fact that that same person can then just drop and walk away. After you've put up with all of that, after you've spent years helping them and all of that, kind of investing in them, and then they turn around and say, you know what, find someone else, this isn't working. Do you know what I mean? And it's different if that was a marriage, because you know you can fight tooth and nail. Do you know what I'm saying? And you know, okay, in something you can go to court about it. Like, you don't just get divorced, you got to go to court to get divorced. You know, people intervene when people work back together. Yeah. But a boyfriend, a dating relationship is just like, oh, you got part ways then. Do you know what I mean? Just go. Some people are not even going to fight for it. You know. So for me, that's one of the things. Just that whole, you know, thing that people enter into it knowing that I might not get anything out of this at the end of the day. Yeah. But he cute, she's cute, we get along, and let's just see how this goes. As opposed to, you know what, let's just stay you know what, but is there something, what's wrong with being friends? Do you know what I'm saying? And making that work. Do you get what I mean? Like, for me, like, that's another thing. What's wrong with just saying to somebody, like, look, I do like you, you know, I do like you, we get on. So instead of us getting into a relationship where we can break each other's hearts, how about we stay friends and see how this goes? Like, the person you're speaking to might be like, is this person crazy? Like, where'd they go with this? Yeah. This isn't normal. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just like, okay, no. But then if that person isn't willing to be your friend, if they're not willing to be your friend when you're not dating, they're not going to be your friend. You know, how is that relationship really going to be a friendship in
the long run?
In the long run, yeah, exactly.
My question, if they say no, why? Why are you saying no? What do you want from me that you're not getting as my friend that you're rejecting and refusing?
That's another question.
Listen, it's like we need to be real. And I said it.
It's all this, like, people are too inner, man. Like, people just want it all now.
You see it now. I said it at the top end of the stream. If you don't have the capacity to be mature, relationships are not for you. Yeah, but you know, boom, boom, boom. Listen, I need to carry you. You are going to carry me emotionally, spiritually. I need a woman that can pray. A man needs a woman that can. A woman needs a man that can pray for her too. Someone that can lead. Someone that can live.
Yeah, exactly.
All of those things. And if we don't have if we don't have the spiritual dexterity, we don't have the integrity within us to be able to do those things. Like I said before, you got no business dating. You got no if you are not thinking about carrying someone else, what it really means to be. I said it earlier on, to become one, to become that strength, that powerhouse, that united force that can go out and affect your community. Listen, parents that are not united have a detrimental effect on children.
Of 100%.
And listen, the worst thing is this: don't tell your dad.
Oh yeah, don't tell your mum.
Don't tell your mum. That is the worst. One of the worst things. It is the underpinnings of deceit. Yeah. In relationship, you do that to a child. The child understands that as this is the way it works.
Yeah, even I've got a story just on that particular one. Many years ago, one of my friends, their family members, the mum and dad had split up. And the girl was living with the mum, and then she wanted to go to a party, so she asked the mum she could stay at her dad's that week, and then so she stayed at her dad's that weekend, and obviously the parents, they were not communicating with each other well enough. So the girl said to the dad, oh, don't tell mum that I'm going to this party. And the dad was like, all right, cool, as long as you're back by this particular time. Yeah. That young lady ended up getting shot at that party and died.
Look at that. Okay.
Now, the reason why I bring that up is because even though these two parents were not together, communication as parents alone, whether together, whether not together, once there's a child involved, you have to be able to talk. You have to be able to be friendly on some kind of level. That it's not just, oh, because we're not together anymore means we're not friends, means we don't communicate. But this child is in the middle of this relationship. She didn't ask to come. She's in the middle of this relationship. The least that they could have had is have a communication. Yeah. Once the girl, and then it turned out the fact that the mum had already told her no, she couldn't go to that party. That's why she wanted to stay at her dad's that weekend.
Crazy.
Right? Now, these are the things that happen. Okay? These are the things that happen. So when we're talking about friendship, communication, whether it's in a marriage or just being friends, being parents who can be friendly and have
cordial,
cordial, especially when it comes to your children, it is so important. Yeah. It's so important. Again, this is where, like, the fact that when parents are dating each other forever and ever, and then they split up. Yeah. There's been so much pain and heartache in that relationship that they don't even want to talk to each other. So they have these children, okay, and as parents, they don't communicate with each other. It's just, okay, when you've got him, fine. When I've got him, fine. Don't be in my business. When I've got the child, that's kind of it. And that can be, and these are the things that I feel like happens. It happens. It happens. Again, it happens in marriages too.
That's right.
It happens in marriages too. Like you said, don't tell mum, don't tell dad. That divide. So it does happen. It does happen.
Guys, this is Ezekiel. I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Sarah Diligence, and I want you guys to understand something. This is Marriage Matters. The whole purpose of this playlist, the whole purpose of these shows here are to enrich, to empower your relationship, your marriage, either the marriage that you're in right now, or the marriage of your future. I'm talking to those of you who are not married yet. All right. So you guys are the ones that help foster this conversation. Remember that, please.
I was even just gonna say there was something that was revealed to me a few months back. I was with a bunch of friends and we were talking, and I said to them, that word "my." When people use my boyfriend, my girlfriend, that is one of, that label. They've labeled this person as mine.
Yes, that's right.
Right? That person, and I categorically said to them, they're not yours.
That's right.
They're not yours. You walk around my boyfriend, my girlfriend. That is the biggest lie you could tell yourself. Like, I told them straight. And they were like, whoa, like they didn't see it like that, So there was a few single girls and they were like, whoa, they didn't see it this way. Yeah. And it was truth because, like I said, if he breaks up with you, he's not yours. And even if he doesn't break, he's still not yours. Yeah. Because until he says to you, will you be my wife?
Yeah.
You understand? Until the word wife or husband comes into the play, there's no mine. Yeah. And this again is something that I really believe that society has tamed down. The fact that people, they make it out as people belong to each other just because they're in a relationship. Yeah. That there is a bondage, that there's a bond there, that makes someone your property because you buy them things, because you sleep in the same house, because you eat together, you pay bills together, all the things that come in the package. So it makes it out like, oh yeah, that's my man. Or that's my girl. No, you have people breaking out into fights over people that that don't belong to them. You have people shooting and killing each other because of people that don't belong to them. You have people committing suicide for people that do not belong to them. But the world makes people think that person is theirs.
That's right.
It's their property. Why? Because you bought an engagement ring? No, that still doesn't mean she's yours yet. You got to take her all the way first.
Come on now.
You can't fight another man because you've put a ring on someone's finger. You can fight another man when she becomes your wife.
That's right.
You understand? So that whole thing of mine, it's the biggest deception. I think when it comes to relationships that are not have not turned into marriages.
Yeah.
And I really think like people need to begin to pull away from using that word mine. And then I said, and even I remember in that conversation, I said, when you stop saying mine, when that relationship ends, it's like, well, it wasn't mine anyway. Okay. It's like, you know, yeah, go on.
It gives greater perspective as well. If you acknowledge that the boyfriend stage is a stage before something else, the girlfriend stage is a stage before something else, then it gives you perspective, and that perspective helps you.
It does.
Helps you to kind of have a vision, like we're talking about it, for the relationship, have a purpose for the relationship, and shoot for those goals. So I think that's key. I think that's really key.
Yeah. Lovely. Thank you.
Guys, another hot topic this show. Let's jump straight into the comments and see
Yes.
We
just want to thank all of you that are still here, that are still watching, that are still joining us, and that are leaving your comments in this comment section. We really do thank you guys for, taking your time out of your wonderful evening to share this space with us. So yeah.
Hello, Kat Johnson.
Hi,
how
Kat
are you
Johnson.
doing? Good to see you in the chat tonight. Yes. Justelina says, this is the topic I've been waiting for. Thank you. Let me get comfortable and reach for my notebook. Smiley face. Listen, I hope we lived up to it. I see a few more questions from you, but if there's any questions we've not answered or anything that you wanted to know or you wanted to tackle us on, please do ask those questions in the chat. Kat Johnson says, yes, from the jump. What's the point of dating someone for a year? Then they say, I'm not on getting married, or it's not a priority. Time wasted. #. Listen.
Yeah, it's true.
Listen, that is so real. That is so real, so rich. Like, what can I say?
Yeah.
Like,
said it all, really.
Like, let's not waste our time. Let's not waste our time out here. Justelina says, what topic should come first, marriage or children? I have no interest in marrying a man who don't want them, so I never ask about marriage on first date. You see, now, Justelina, that's powerful because for a lot of people, discussing marriage is super uncomfortable. It's super uncomfortable. And I was saying, you've got to ask the uncomfortable questions first.
Yeah.
So you don't feel uncomfortable. So I think you've got an edge there, so you can talk about children, and that's always kind of like an easy icebreaker. It's just true. Like, have you ever thought about children? Or where would I'd rather go with like, do you come from a big family or small family? How many siblings have you got? And then from there, oh wow, so thinking about children, how many have you thought of? And I'd go from there, and I'd lead with that.
And kind of gauge his response from that, and really begin to see if he's like, oh yeah, I've got a lot of nieces and nephews. Oh, I can't wait to have a few of my own.
You see
That's generally how it kind of comes out, especially when someone comes from a big family, or you're just like, oh, I've only got I come from a small family, but I really want a big family. Signs that he does want children, so those are signs that the person does want children. But if it's just like, oh yeah, I've got loads of nieces and nephews, man, like, they're more than enough for me, man, do you know what I mean?
Then you know
off the bat that okay, but not necessarily. It could be a thing of where this might take him a little getting used to kind of thing. So yeah, nurturing, whatever. But yeah, and
even then, sometimes you won't even have to go straight for the juggler in terms of that. You could ask about if I asked about your parents, then ask what kind of what was the most difficult thing about your parents, basically. Then, as a parent, what type of parent do you think you would be, kind of thing. And again, like, that's another thing. Some people like, I don't like children. I have pets. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's how some people are. And I'm being real. I've heard people talk like that before.
It's true. Some people don't want kids. They just want pets.
They're not a fan of that. So that was a great question, by the way. Great question. Justin also says, she said, but I do ask about their views on having kids before the starter has even arrived. Look at that. Look, she was there.
That's brilliant.
So you were there before I even got it. So that's what I'm saying. That's it. That's top. Brilliant. Well done for that. I see Ecosmios in the chat. She says, hey, how are you doing? Hi. This girl's making me laugh. She says, 35, I would have been out. Peace. You know what? I thank God that she
Did you even tell me that directly, that 35? I probably just looked at you and was just like, all right, mate.
No, I think, the question was always...
you had it in your mind.
Your question was always...
when are we getting married?
Yeah. It was...
Or are we getting married?
That's what you used to say. You were like, are we getting married? Are we getting married? And then, so I was more like, yeah.
Yeah. See? You get what you want when you ask.
All right. What's next in the chat?
Kat Johnson.
Kat Johnson says, can you imagine? Wait till 42. Now, my G, I'm not the one. Listen, sis, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you follow the narrative, these times, it's already like 33. So like about 10 years already gone past, 10, 50 years. So we've already been in it for a minute. So at that point in time, it's like, sometimes it's already too late. And this is why we need to ask those questions so early. Mrs. I Can Win says, Cat. Oh, she's laughing. All right, what have we got next? We've got Justinina says, could be a true sense of hope. People, men especially, may want to establish themselves before marriage so that they can be financially, mentally, and emotionally ready to look after a spouse and family. You see what? That's a wonderful comment. And I think that's a reality. Like I said to you, I was about my business.
Yeah.
My business was what was important. Nothing else was on my mind. It was about getting that done. And I think that's true, Justinina, for the guys that are mature, that have that mature mindset. Like I was saying, relationships is about maturity. You got to think about getting yourself in order. We spoke about this 4 or 5 streams back, talking about personal MOT. Check yourself. Then as you've checked yourself, and we're not saying we're perfect, but we're kind of in order. We're getting things going. And then we're starting to check the person we're going for. And not in a judgmental way. We just want to know, are we compatible? Is it really, like, if I've got a vision for life and they don't have a vision for life, is this really something that can work, basically? Those kind of things are really powerful. So I think your statement is right. Extremely right for those who are mature in that sense. But other guys will be using that as a guise. And it will be like, I'm just working some stuff out. Like I was, essentially. At the point I was saying it to you, I was about my stuff. But I wasn't really about the financial, maybe the financial, but not so much the mental and emotional. But not so much the mentally and emotional stuff. But now, it's about all of that. It's about bettering myself as best as I can so I can be the best that you need me to be. And also so I can assist you to come up to where you need to be and vice versa. That's what we're working on. So
it's funny because I wanted to ask, what would you say to someone who is in a relationship now? Like, I mean, and there's been no discussion on marriage. There's been no sense of that even being the case. And they've been in it for a minute. You know, how would you advise someone?
Because they're
dating now.
Yeah, so my main thing would be, I'd sit down and we'd do some of the stuff we normally do. I'd have a goals and strategy session with them. And I'm saying, look, let's look at your vision. You've heard me say today vision. You've heard me say purpose on a number of times. And really, there's a few other things, components that go along with that. But we'd be looking at the vision for the couple. What's going on? And even prior to that, some of what I mentioned a moment ago, we're looking at individual visions. What are you about, lady? What are you about, man? And we're establishing those things first, and then we're kind of looking at, okay, so how do you two see yourselves achieving this stuff and getting to these aspirations together? Do you know what I'm saying? I'd go through one of my typical coaching sessions and just really try and see how we can get them to work together, because the reality is some people are just with other people for the sake of kind of, how do you say it?
Killing time.
Yeah, what's the word we usually use? It's just kind of, now it's just, I'm used to it. I'm comfortable. It's like this is the path of least resistance.
Right.
Do you understand? And because of that now, it's like it don't make sense. I ain't going nowhere. It's like, we've been dating forever, and it's just like this is the norm now. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's not always really because they desire a fruitful fellowship and the unity to impact. It's not about that. Some people, it's just, I'm comfy. This is what it is. It's just, do you know what I mean? And this is where you start to see that breakdown, that slow decay of relationships from the inside. Because really, someone's heart begins to lust after something else. It's not always someone else. It might just be something else.
Yeah, that's right.
And then those things begin to break down overall. And we see this kind of, this traumatic end that you were talking about before. Emotional disarray, children in the mix of it, kind of psychological issues. All that kind of stuff can stem from these things. My dad used to tell me when I was a boy, often, he would say, life is fragile. Life is fragile. And he'd make that statement a lot of the time. And I guess I never fully appreciated it. I heard it and I could see what he was saying, but it wasn't until I began to kind of step through life, mature through life, I began to see what he would call it, the fragility of life. Do you understand? And it's really important that we see life for what it is. You've made some really powerful points about the negative sides of dating. Getting into a relationship where there is no positive hope, there is no end goal, there is no commitment, and fundamentally no covenant, and we find ourselves, or they find themselves, in a position of disarray. This is a challenge. There are an abundance of the positive sides of marriage I can talk about, but we'll save that for another stream, I guess, as well. Great questions from you guys.
Thank you.
You guys are really helping us spur the conversation on today.
I think we're on Ecosmere soon.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. And yeah, you were right, Justin, that there could be a true sense of hope. Ecosmere says, yes, we need to be educating people about this. We keep looking at the end result as a mess when we going in. There was so much work not done. Yes, Sarah. And I think that's rich. You see, goals are key. We're talking about some of that now. And if we don't evaluate the journey, we don't evaluate where we're going, I think it's problematic.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's problematic. That was a great point. That was a great point. We're looking at the end result as a mess. Just imagine that. Imagine like not seeing it for what it really is. Not seeing it for the good that it could be, basically. That's a lot of stuff. We got Benjamin in the chat today. What's up, B? Says 100%. Love to you, brother. Love to you. Ecosmere says, good way to ask about children at Ezekiel. Yeah, it's true to get those topics out there in the open first of all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to work it, man. I think we definitely need to work it. We definitely need to make an effort to kind of get these things in order. Yeah. It helps just to ask those questions as early as possible.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I just really feel like, you know, people, the whole, you know, people think, okay, if I don't date, this could be an arranged marriage flex, and people don't feel that that's the road for them.
Yeah.
You know, people don't feel that, you know, that being friends with someone and then marrying someone, that's not how it's done. Yeah. It's not done that way.
Yeah.
You have to know what the person's like in bed. You have to know if they can kiss. You have to know if they can dress. You have to know if they can cook. You have to know if they can clean. You have to know this. And there's this big knowing factor that people really want and desire before they take that step.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the main barrier is with people, you know, letting go of the fact that you can experience a lot of the, well, not
a good
number of these of the benefits without having to put yourself in that box to say you're dating.
Like I meant to say earlier on, this is like a good friend said once. He was like, his wife said, we are not in the same situation now that we were when we started, and people need to think about that. Ecosmere made the point just now, and it's so rich. Think about the fact that whatever they do poorly now, they can improve.
Of course.
We're talking about kissing. It don't matter what it is.
Exactly.
They can improve. Cooking, they can improve. They can learn. And this is part and parcel of the commitment to the other. I'm committed to you. I'm committed to grow to be the best me I need to be for you. And this is what we're doing. This is why I say you can't be selfish in relationships.
Yes, exactly.
You can't be like, listen.
It's a selfless walk.
Listen, man.
It really is. But this is the thing. Like,
emotional one today, guys.
But this is the thing. It's you know, like you mentioned it earlier when we started, when, you know, people go into it with the mindset of, but I just have to know. I have to know if this is going to work out. I have to know if she's going to be able to, you know, do certain things. I have to know if she's gonna. I mean, even something. I have to know. You know, with the whole. I said, well, I have to know she's gonna be a good parent. So she has to have a baby first.
Yeah.
Let her have a baby, then I will know if I can wife her.
Yeah.
Because she can't look after my kids. I can't wife her.
That's a problem.
Like, wow.
That's a problem.
Do you know what I'm saying? So people are looking at this from so many different angles, and I really feel like it is definitely something that. It has to be tackled individually. Like, people really have to begin to not look at what the world is saying about things, not look at how society is sugarcoating relationships, not looking at what the music and the media and all different angles
forget that.
And social media, how they're portraying this, and say, okay, what do I want? How can I get out of this in order to achieve that?
Look, quick. We're going to close, guys. But listen, this is a quick thought. Yeah, how many people have seen like a relationship on TV or with their brethren or something, and they thought, "Wow, like that looks so good." Tried it for themselves and realized it wasn't what they thought it was. It wasn't as easy. And this is just the reality. We need to get off watching other people and be like, you know what, I'm going to work this.
Exactly.
I'm going to work this. I'm going to do what's necessary and I'm going to make it work.
Exactly. I tell you, you know what? Hats off to people who are really, you know, making the decision to not follow the crowd.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Because that's what it is. Obviously, at the end of the day, we're following the crowd. But, you know, for me, again, this topic is for a lot of people that have maybe young people in their lives or people who are still single. You know, it's about starting the conversation and really just saying that, look, we don't have to live like that. That doesn't have to be our story. We don't have to follow the Kardashians. We don't have to follow these groups Joneses. Of people. Yeah. We don't have to try and fit into this category. You know, let's make an attempt to write our own story.
Come on now, powerful. That's powerful.
You know, and again, you know, like I said, if you have young people in your life, or you're a parent of a teenager, or you have teenage siblings, you know, or you might be married, and then your other, you know, people around you might not be married. Your younger siblings or even your older sibling, whoever it may be, they might not be married. It's good to have these conversations and really begin to say, okay, where does your perspective, where does your mentality of dating come from? Why do you think that this is the norm? Why do you want to have to experience all of these things? They tell you, oh yeah, but you did it. Yeah. And you can turn around and say, but you know, I would do it differently if I had the chance.
Absolutely. I didn't get everything right.
I
learned my lessons from it.
Exactly. So begin to speak to people, begin to have these conversations. If you're in an environment where there are a lot of young people, maybe you might be in youth ministry and things like that. Have these conversations with young people, because a lot of young people are ending up with a lot of pain, a lot of heartache, not making it till the end because of relationships that have failed them in a sense, or they have failed in. You know, it's not the relationship that failed them, they failed in. And time and time again, you know, we constantly see this happen. So obviously, as parents, we know that that's definitely a conversation that we constantly do have with our eldest, and we will have with the rest of them. So yeah,
guys, I'm Ezekiel.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're here today for another episode of Marriage Matters Live. So grateful for all of you guys who hung in there. Those of you who were here early, waiting in the queue before the stream started. Those of you who are here now, we really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Remember, this conversation is for those of you who want a rich, powerful, and a meaningful marriage. You want to make an impact with your marriage. So we'll be here, same time again, about a couple of weeks' time, bringing something fresh for you.
And remember, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, do subscribe, like, and share the video.
Ring that bell.
And leave in the comment section, you know, if there are things that you felt that, you know, you still wanted to talk about, leave it in the comments. There are people that will still be reading it time and time again. So yes, let's continue to build this community together. And thank you all so much. We love each and every one of you. Thank you.
Have a wonderful week ahead, all right?
Yes.
We love you guys. See you later.
Bye.